Anime gives us the opportunity to go on crazy adventures that we could never even dream of, immersing us in well thought out and interesting worlds, all while accompanied by a main character that is a cut above the rest. Welcome back to Animeology as we run through our picks for the best adventure anime out there with an overpowered main character. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Number 10. The Tower of Druaga. The entire series surrounds this powerful and magical tower that is filled with a number of unique floors and levels. With unique beasts and armies and motives, this is a highly imaginative series that has since seen a number of copycats both across the Japanese and Korean anime scene. Set around 80 years after the powerful King Gilgamesh defeated the tower all by himself, the tower has been created again, with the powerful magical season giving the monsters within the tower even more power and strength and makes them far more dangerous. We follow a number of adventurers that are drawn to the tower on the hunt for gold and glory due to the myth that there lies a legendary treasure hidden on the top floor. But the path ahead is filled with monsters and traps all along, with the evil Lord Druaga at the very top. Although the anime itself has wrapped up really nicely, the manga is still running to this day, and we definitely recommend jumping headfirst into the awesome Tower of Druaga series. Number 9. Jormungand. An insanely riveting action thriller series, Jormungand tells us about the world of illegal smuggling, following a young arms dealer by the name of Coco Heckmeiter, an arms dealer that sells illegal weapons around the world. We follow our hero as she skirts around local and international authorities, traveling with a team of soldiers and bodyguards. This is a brilliant watch that is stylish through and through. With the introduction of some interesting characters into the mix, Jormungand really takes an already interesting backdrop and elevates it to the next level. Constantly scratching our head and unsure of what to do next, you can't help but root for the international arms dealer. She may be evil, but there's something about her journey that had us rooting for her. Number 8. Casshern Sins. Casshern Sin is actually a reboot of the iconic Casshern anime series from the 70s. Although it is extremely loosely related, only borrowing a few core concepts and characters, there's no need to check out the original, but we definitely recommend jumping into this reboot. We follow Casshern, a cyborg that has been ordered to assassinate the savior of mankind and dooming Earth in the process. A classic anti-hero type tale set in a very unique and interesting post-apocalyptic world. The robots have taken over and ruled over the entire planet. The leader, Bright King Boss, is not willing to take any chances when a mysterious girl by the name of Luna is rumored to save mankind. You might be imagining a classic tale of Casshern and Luna traveling this world together, but trust us when we tell you that Casshern Sins is definitely not that kind of anime. With a number of interesting twists and turns along the way, this is a brilliant reboot that you need to check out. Number 7. Astra Lost in Space. A well-written science fiction manga series that has since been adopted into a brilliant anime. Astra Lost in Space is set in the near-distant future and takes us on a whirlwind adventure around the cosmos. The year is 2063, and space travel has become easily available for all. We follow a number of students from high school as they set off to a nearby planet for a school trip. But upon arriving, the school kids encounter a strange alien light-based organism that transports them deep into random parts of space. While floating around, they manage to come across an old abandoned spaceship. Working together, the kids manage to fix the ship and aim to set a course back home. But with a huge distance between them and home, our human heroes have no choice but to stop by and visit alien planets in order to gather food, water, and fuel. An absolutely brilliant series, starting off with 9 completely different kids that we slowly start to learn more and more about, strengthening their bonds as they work together in order to overcome some insane challenges. Number 6. From the New World.
Saki! Don't worry, I'm here now.
Starting off as a well-written and highly respected novel, this dark fantasy thriller tale was set across a well-imagined dystopian world. The year is 3013, with a noticeable amount of the population has developed incredible psychic abilities that are referred to as Kanto. These powers have been molded and shaped over time and are now extremely powerful. With a number of these individuals using this Kanto for violence and crime, these powers have changed the entire world, and modern society has broken down completely because of it, going so far as to even lead to a world war that caused the downfall of modern society. Replaced by oppressive dictatorships and horrible rules, these psychic humans started to control themselves through genetic modifications and made themselves incapable of violence against others. We follow a young girl by the name of Saki Watanabe. She has a number of special powers and enrolls in a special school for psychics, but the issues with this futuristic society extended far deeper than you might imagine as Saki and her friends start to really dig and uncover the truth. Number 5. Altair, a record of battles. The series follows a young orphan by the name of Mahmud that despises war and hopes that it never occurs and ruins his land again, but after a politician is assassinated, war seems guaranteed. Mahmud is determined to do anything to protect his homeland and travels across the country to form powerful alliances between his country and the other nations in order to team up and face off against the incoming empire that is sweeping across the land. An interesting series that is clearly heavily inspired by real-world events. Altair is a brilliant series that might not be filled with crazy action and fight scenes, but is definitely just as intense and far more engaging. Altair is a series quite unlike any we have come across, but is one that you definitely should not hesitate to check out. Number 4. Golden Kamui.
Holy shit!
Already? That was fast.
Mainly focused on Saiichi Sugimoto, a member of the Japanese army, and his quest to find a huge secret treasure with the help of a young tribeswoman. Set primarily in Hokkaido, Golden Kamui looks to detail a very realistic political, technological, and cultural landscape, even going so far as to meet some real-life characters and events. The series also respectfully explores the indigenous Ainu people, as well as their culture and somewhat unique language, as well as developing the sort of hardships and struggles they endured. Also looking towards the MC and his experience as a soldier from an ethical and emotional point of view. A brilliant and engaging anime series that does give the occasional laugh, but is very heavily steeped in the more serious and mature issues. There's literally no other anime series like this, and you need to watch Golden Kamui. Still in the early days, Golden Kamui will one day be considered one of the greatest animes of all time. Number 3. Armed Librarians.
I am the soul of destruction. I yearn for the death of all things. Your slingshot has...
Set in an interesting fantasy-type world in which people get turned into stone books after they die and pass away. These books are then stored in a huge library that is seemingly endless. Anyone that touches these books can take a look into the life of the person that died in order for it to be created. This huge library is maintained by the Armed Librarians, a number of highly trained individuals that wield supernatural abilities and are well versed in combat. A huge cult is their primary concern, the Shindeku Church, a group of selfish people that aim to get their hands on these books and are fueled by purely selfish reasons. Armed Librarians doesn't focus on any single person. Instead, we're introduced to a number of awesome characters that we slowly get to follow and learn about over time, in an interesting format that we are starting to see more and more of in recent times. Armed Librarians is definitely quite unlike any other anime you may have come across. Number 2. The Beast Player. The Beast Player tells the story of a 10-year-old by the name of Ellen, as she lived with her mother Soyeon in the magical kingdom of Lyoza, an interesting world in which humans and mythical creatures live together in harmony. We learn of these powerful dragon-like creatures by the name of Toda that humans use like these flying horses. But one day, a number of Toda creatures dies and Ellen's mother is blamed. Ellen cannot save her mother and she's eaten by the creatures. Ellen manages to escape and washes ashore a foreign distant land. She's adopted by a kind man, and her life is calm and enjoyable, and she enrolls in an academy in an effort to become a doctor in order to help out and care for these beasts much like her mother before her. A really heartfelt and emotional fantasy anime. The Beast player really tugged at our heartstrings, and we eagerly follow the tale of Ellen from a young child all the way to a gifted and caring young woman. Number 1. Castlevania. Based on a highly successful series of games that is often considered some of the best video games of all time, Castlevania has historically been a series that focused on the adventure of Alucard, Dracula, and the famed Belmont family of vampire hunters. This relatively modern series is considered one of the greatest modern animes and perhaps one of the greatest animes of all time. We learn of the distant land of Wallachia that is plunged into terror after the church decides to kill the wife of Dracula. Dracula is completely unhinged after the death of the love of his life and declares war on humans, bringing together the vampire armies from around the world in order to slaughter every single last one of them. It's up to an unexpected group of heroes, from Dracula's estranged son Alucard to the last living heir to the once famous Belmont family. Our group of heroes needs to team up in order to face off and attempt to bring down one of the most powerful entities on the entire planet. Spanning 4 seasons and having us hooked from the very first episode, Castlevania is more so a Western anime than anything else. With a brilliant core story, fantastic characters, insane action, and a well thought out world, this is one you need to see.